What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 70 of Thinktwice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Aintrazi.
So now I'm just wondering if there's anything else to look forward to after
In life?
after episode 69.
Yeah,
I guess
like episode 70, like 71, 72
No.
even.
No, it's probably 100. Then after that, 777 if we're still alive.
All downhill. It's all downhill after episode 69. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're suggesting?
Probably after episode 100.
All downhill?
downhill.
Well, great. I'm really glad that you have such a positive outlook on the podcast.
I'm just saying about the numbers. Come on, man.
What do you mean about the numbers?
69. Episode 69 is like, it's famous. Okay,
Is it?
forever.
Is it famous?
Yes. In Ollie world.
Yeah. You and the rest of the 16-year-olds can enjoy that joke.
I mean, it's not a joke though. It's a thing. Anyways, how was your weekend, Parnell?
It was great. It was very relaxing.
Okay.
Finally, after spending the previous week moving and the previous week before that getting prepared to move, and then spending last week unboxing stuff, for the most part this weekend, I did very little, which unfortunately, I'm going to let everybody know, included not doing anything for Patreon rewards. So if you guys have not received those yet for this month, look, I just need to take a second to just chill. So I'm going to make sure to get those out this weekend, but I did nothing this past weekend. I literally cannot even tell you what I did.
Nice.
I don't think I did anything of note.
Did you play Pokemon with the family?
Was there a community day?
No.
Are
Oh,
you
there's no, was it Gengar? It was Pinsir.
Cyndaquil?
Gengar.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Gengar?
No.
Or was it last week?
Cyndaquil.
Oh, it was Cyndaquil. I missed it. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I did that for about an hour, and then that was it.
Okay.
I got 4 shiny Cyndaquil. I evolved all of them. Got the special move for the community day, and then we packed it in, and that was it.
Okay. Well, I did not play on Saturday. I streamed Friday.
Yeah, you've been doing that quite a bit.
I think I streamed every single day except Saturday. I even streamed Sunday. Wait, actually no, I streamed Saturday too. I think I streamed every day except Wednesday.
You tell me.
Yeah, it was every day except Wednesday last week.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my week, even my weekend too.
Just streaming.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of weird because the Pro Tour was going on, so obviously that takes away views. But Sunday was my biggest day for whatever reason, even with the Pro Tour.
Well, what time did you start streaming?
I started streaming right after the finals of the Pro Tour finished.
So you weren't streaming against the Pro Tour then? That's probably why. People still wanted to watch Magic.
Right, but the Pro Tour still shows like replays the whole entire weekend.
Yeah, but those are replays, man.
I know, but
let me tell you, as someone that watches sports, there's sports replays all the time. It's not the same as live. It just is the amount of people that watch live sports versus the amount of people that watch replayed games is like 10,000 to 1. Like it's not even remotely close.
It was higher. I think it was a little higher. The whole weekend they had like 4,000, even with replays, 4,000 active viewers. So, but anyways, it was still good weekend. My stream grew. It was fun to stream. I enjoyed it. Now I'm just trying to find wiggling around my schedules and my times to try to find more room to stream. So that was what I was doing.
So now that I think about it, there wasn't really something that I did, but Meredith and I got Parker 11 or not 11. That's Levi. Levi's 11. Parker's 13 for his 14th birthday, which was last week. Got him the Spider-Man game on PS4. And I watched him play that game for several hours, and it's fantastic.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, and I don't play video games very often, but this game looks great, has a fantastic story, is ton of fun. I didn't even play the game, and I was having fun just watching.
I bought. Speaking of games, I actually bought Aiden. Let's Go Pikachu. It's coming this Friday. Coming in the mail this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So when the podcast goes live, I don't know if I should give it to him now. The idea was to give it to him for Christmas, but it's so long, you know. And I kind of want to play with them too. I heard you can like go out and like play together. And also, there's some way to get like a mystery box.
Yeah, you want to get it for you so you can attach Pokemon Go to it.
Well,
you don't have to look. Aiden's not going to listen to this. You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie to the Thinktwice family.
Oh, I'm not. I mean that's not an irrelevant thing. But also, he's been playing Mario Odyssey forever. So I was like, okay, it's time for him to get a new game.
Well, you should definitely get. If he can, well, I don't know.
That's a PS4 though. Spider-Man's for PS4, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man's for PS4 only. It's exclusive.
Yeah, he has the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. We're gonna be getting Super Smash Brothers when that comes out in next month. That's gonna be family Christmas present. Yeah.
Is that for the Switch?
That's for the Switch.
Okay. Man, yeah, I mean, I don't play consoles anymore. It's so weird. So I don't know.
I don't either, but Parker and Levi both do. So I've been getting slightly more into it and playing with them some, but
yeah,
it's going to be few and far between for me to play a game. It's just such a big time investment. Magic just sucks up all of my time and money.
Oh yeah,
and everything.
No, I agree with you.
It's pretty much the worst. I don't even know why we do this. I guess it's probably because it's the greatest game in the world, but outside of that, it's pretty much the worst.
It's pretty. I mean, it is great. It's just that like. Well, the thing is like, anyways, going back to what you said earlier, you said that the games like take too long. It's funny because when we're young, we want them to take forever, and we're old. We're like, man, I don't have this much time. I need a game to be like done in like 5 hours or something.
Well,
you know?
I don't.
Or something I can play like for 10 minutes and that's it.
That's more what I want.
Yeah.
It's not that I want something that finishes quickly. I want something that I don't have to feel like I need to finish.
Or invest a lot of time in. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's not like a start and stop point.
Yeah. Because I've actually had some friends, most notably Robert Wright. I think you know Robert Wright. Maybe some listeners know Robert Wright, the SCG kid. Yeah, he's a friend. Friends loose term, Robert Wright.
Anyway, continue.
But anyways, he asked me to like join back with World of Warcraft. I'm just like, dude, there's no way I could do that. Like I would not do anything else. Like I don't have time to do that. Like have you ever played an MMO?
No.
Okay. Well,
they just do not appeal to me at all.
Well, they take infinite time. So like the time you invest in the Pokemon game to fight with, like way back when you were younger, like you like went competitive with Pokemon, and it's like that. It just takes forever.
Oh yeah, that took an outrageous amount of time. I literally had to stop doing that when I started playing Magic again. When I took my brief hiatus for Magic.
Yeah, there's no way I could do it unless I was making money off of it. Like
no, because it's got to be like if you have any other primary hobby, then you can't do both of those things. Unless you just don't work, I guess.
Exactly. But I can't do that. I can't.
No, you're an adult, so
yeah,
it's just not how the world works.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had a question of the week last week, and that question was, which guild on Ravnica would you prefer throw you a birthday party? Ali, you said Gruul, and that got 57%. Your strategy of just going with Gruul for everyone has slowly started to pay off. I went with Golgari, which got a meager 25% of the vote. And I asked people to name the guild and tell me what it was. It got 19%, although I would say 18% of that 19% said Rakdos.
All right, do you know what happened this time? Basically what happened was Berber Rumors came out and he was like, not Gruul, then die. So everyone voted Gruul.
Yeah, I know. You said that every single week, so we got it.
Well, I have to, because Gruul. and this is landslide. Like it was over double the Golgari.
Over double,
votes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just want a close personal affair. I don't want a big deal to be made. I don't want a Rakdos crazy party. I'm not trying to have a frat party, which is what Rakdos is going to do.
I think it's frat, man. Like I'm scared of dying on my party with Rakdos. Like
yeah, that's what I said. People die at frat parties all the time.
Do they? Okay. Well, yeah, yeah. Grow just seems like a good time with friends, and it's just gonna be like, and you can have candied bacon. That's all I want.
No, I know
Candied
it's
bacon.
food. Yeah, that was your whole thing. You talked about food for 5 minutes last week.
Yes. Anyways, so high five, Grohl. High five, Grohl. You were right. I was right. Congrats. We did it.
We want to thank everyone that's listening on one of our great platforms: SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and now Spotify. If you can, take some time to leave us a review, either a 5-star review if the platform allows you to, or leave a short text review or a comment. And if you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/thinktwicemtg. Especially, you can join our $1 Aggro Bolus tier. That gets you early access to the show, gets you access to our Discord channel, which has come in handy in the last week because they made a deck collectively for me that I just played on Commander Versus. And I'm not going to give away anything because that episode has not aired yet, but they did a absolutely fantastic job. And of course has our Animal Levels channel on that as well, which has been getting a lot more looks recently. A lot of animals being posted, so you definitely want to check that out. It also gets you a one-time gift of a pair of Ali and Justin tokens for the show for a thanks from us to you. So, Ali, are you ready to jump into our first topic?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Excellent. Well, as you may or may not know, Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica happened over the last weekend when you and I were doing not anything. And of course you do know because we already talked about it. Yeah. But that is going to have a very dramatic effect on the standard metagame. Or is it? No pun intended. Literally no pun intended. That was the way I had to say that because that's 2 words. So we're going to be back in just a moment to talk about the fallout of Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica. Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica, as expected, Rainbow Lich completely dominated the event, putting 8 copies into the top 8, and Wizards of the Coast banning every card that is not in the main deck and sideboard.
To be fair, I do think that deck was a good choice for the event, especially since the biggest the number 1 portion of the field was Golgari.
Yes,
which was like a 30-some%. I can't remember the exact percentage, but it was
a little over 30%.
Yeah, and then second was like mono. I think it was mono red or
let me see if I can find it. You keep going.
Basically,
you just make stuff up, and I'll correct you as needed.
Okay. Basically, I was looking, and I saw like the top 3 decks were all favored or good or fine matchups for Rainbow Lich, where the worst matchup control was like not that high at the Pro Tour. So it's like, man, this would have been a good deck. Obviously, I'm not qualified. Go ahead.
Here's the metagame breakdown for this is going into the tournament day 1. I'm going to say the top 5 decks. Number 1 was Golgari. Mid-range, that was 22.2%. The second was red-white. I'm putting air quotes around that. Aggro, which is essentially the mono-white deck splashing barely any red. 14.7%. Is It Drakes was 12.9%. Mono-red aggro was 12.5%. Just Sky Control 7.1%. And then everything else kind of after that. So,
yeah, your worst matchup was by far Just Sky. Everything else you have game against. Is It's kind of rough too? Is It Drakes kind of rough as well? If you're not playing like max contempts and Stellar Wreckages, which I would have been. So I think it would have been a pretty good choice for the Pro Tour. But I think there are two Rainbow Lich decks of the Pro Tour. I think they both did pretty poorly in the limited portion from what I heard.
Yeah, that's the killer. And that's actually going to be a recurring theme of this episode. And we're going to be mainly talking about the standard portion, but since you brought that up, you said the people that were piloting the Rainbow Lich did poorly in Limited. This has been the Pro Tour where we've actually seen Limited have the most dramatic effect on the tournament in a really long time.
Probably because the standard decks were pretty even. Which is great.
Yeah. I mean, that's the sign of a healthy format.
Yeah.
And the top 8 decks, while it looked like there were essentially 6 white aggro decks, 5 of them being almost mono white and 1 of them being Boros, 1 Izzet Drakes and 1 Jeskai control, which looks like it's slant. I mean, if you have 6 white aggro decks, looks like it's slanting heavily towards that. However, that was not the case necessarily with how those decks finished and the pilots finished in the constructed portion, but almost every single person went 5-1 or better in the top 8 in Limited.
Yeah.
And that really, really told the story of this event, that it just so happened that those people were playing those decks. And when you actually get down, and we're going to talk about the breakdown of people that were, because there's 10 constructed rounds of people, the breakdown of decks that were 8-2, 9-1, or 10-0 a little bit later, but the story the top 8 paints is not the reality of the constructed portion of this event.
Oh, no, not at all. Like, even after the first portion was over, the white decks started popping up in popularity on MG Arena. I'm sure Magic Online as well. But, like, the deck is, like, fine. And then if you... And then
it's fine.
And then if you're prepared for it, it's...
Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say unplayable, but it's, like, not good at all. Like, once it's, like, known about, I guess. Basically, when people start adding Golden Demise, it's almost similar to the Rainbow Lich effect, where it's like, okay, going in, people aren't ready for these hyper aggro decks because, you know, controllers are packing Syncopate and Disdainful Stroke and Negates or whatever, and they're all off, or even Essence Scatter, which all suck against 1-drops deck.
Yeah.
And then even the Golgari decks, they were metagaming for each other, which meant they were playing like less pinpoint removal and less
it
board
became
wipes.
very inbred to beat the other Golgari decks.
Exactly, which made these decks go under them. So after it's in the spotlight, people just start packing Golden Demises or Ritual of Suit or Moment of Cravings, and it's like now it's not it's much easier to beat, which kind of happened to Rainbow Lich Way too, because after it was known entity or known quantity, people knew how to play around it a lot better. So,
yeah, especially when they were familiar with actually how the deck functions.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So the top 5 decks, as far as the decks that were played, and that of course was in order of playing black green, mono white, Izzet Drakes, mono red, and Jeskai. If you look at all of the decks that finished 8-2 or better, every single one of those decks performed almost identically, which is honestly really crazy. So here's the breakdown for 8-2 or better. So at 30 points, which is 10-0, you have 1 Izzet Drakes deck and 1 mono blue deck. I want to point out that mono blue deck because that mono blue deck is an outlier. That was the only high placing mono blue deck at all. Like everyone else was worse than 7-3 that played that deck.
Yeah.
So that was an outlier. You have Izzet Drakes mono blue. 27 points, which is 9-1. 1 Izzet Drakes, 1 white aggro. And I'm just going to call white aggro anything that is the only basic land of the deck is plains. And
Sure.
if it has anything more than plains, if it has mountains, it's Boros. So white aggro for 9-1 Izzet Drakes white aggro. For 24 points, there's a lot of these. 4 Golgari, 4 red deck wins, 3 white aggro, 2 Izzet Drakes, 3 Jeskai control, and then 2 Selesnya aggro or tokens decks. They're similar enough. So if you add all of those up, with 8-2 or better, you have 4 Golgari, 4 red deck wins, 4 white aggro, 4 Izzet Drakes, 3 Jeskai control. And those are the top 5 most played decks. So they literally finished all exactly on average with the same number of match points over the course of the tournament.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
It is. It is. And, the other thing that means is oftentimes people, I guess, have a misconception that tech decks kind of break out at the Pro Tour. In the last 5 years, that hasn't really happened that much.
Nope.
Yeah, the metagame has kind of been known going in, and what you see, and I don't, I'm not trying to like pat myself on the back for Star City games, but what you've seen at the SCG Tour in Standard for the most part, people, what they play in Standard is kind of what shows up at the Pro Tour. And that's been the case for a while.
Yeah, it's SCG Tour and just Magic Online or online things. It's both. And I guess once they pushed the Pro Tour back, it used to be like 3-4 weeks, whatever it was. It used to be like a lot sooner after set release.
But now you have Grand Prix, SCG Tour events, and infinite online data.
Right. So I feel like what happened was it wasn't that the Pro Tour players were insanely good at discovering decks. It was just that they had way less time. And traditionally what happened was the Pro Tour would have new decks. More than 5 years ago, they'd have new decks, but those decks like fell off really hard after a couple months.
Yeah, or immediately after the tournament.
Yeah.
Oftentimes.
After people caught up. But now it's the opposite. Now people are like, there's a lot of Magic players now. There's a lot of there's a lot of data in Magic Arena and SSG Tours and Grand Prix and Magic Online that a lot of decks get turned out. So it's hard to like find an archetype or something that hasn't been like explored.
That someone hasn't tried.
Or worth exploring even. It's like some people want to because they're like, you know what, I want to focus on limited instead, and I'll just play this Golgari deck because it's a fine deck. It seems even against everything. I'll just do that and play limited, and then test limited. Yeah.
So, as a quick aside, you and I have been both playing a lot of Arena. I've been playing mostly like known decks. Like I've played. I played a version of the white aggro deck just on my own ahead of the Pro Tour. I've played a lot of the Izzet Drakes deck. I've played a lot of a black-green deck. I play black-green and Jund-like decks a lot, which everyone knows. I hate the black-green decks in Standard. They're so dumpy.
I love them.
You love to play them or to play against them?
I love to play against them.
Well, that's not what I'm saying, dude.
Go ahead.
I'm saying that I've played.
Oh, that you've played. Okay.
Yeah, not to play against. I was like, there's no way you've played these black-green decks.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I've played one similar. I've played like a Sultai one.
In this format?
Yeah, I've played Wildrotha in this format.
That's not the same. That's not the same as what this is. This is just like the most mid-rangey pile. Yeah. It's like all of your cards cost 2, 3, and 4, and that's it. And then you throw a Doom Whisperer or a Carnage Titan on top. Carnage Titan on top of that. God, these decks are just so. They're not fun.
Yeah, no.
I can't remember a black-green deck that has been good that I've enjoyed playing less than the ones in Standard right now. Anyway, we can continue.
I was saying, like, I know you like mid-range. I know you like the grindy, Jundish type decks.
Yeah, generally.
And and sometimes I can get behind those decks. Sometimes, but this one is, I would never touch. It's just so like, it's so boring, and like the games are.
It's so boring.
Yeah, it's the same reason. Like almost, I feel like Jeskai or blue white X Teferi decks are just boring too. It's like counter Teferi, counter ultimate. It's like, okay.
God, those games are quicker than the Golgari games.
They're still boring though. Like
they're boring.
So with like that's the thing I've discovered a lot about streaming is I I can't play control decks on stream. Like I can, but like and I have before, and I do well with them, but they're just so boring to play, and like the viewers like they don't really want to watch you play 5 to 10 matches of Teferi control or Golgari. It's just like it's so freaking boring. Like there's so many matches of Golgari you can watch before you're like, dude, okay, I've seen this like 100 times. Like I'm over it. Yeah. So I feel you on that. Like I even hate playing. Like there's times where I play against control, where you know me too. Like I'm not the type that concedes early ever in like a real tournament. Like I play it out for as long as possible until I know I'm actually dead. But
yeah,
in arena, there's times I'm just like, dude, I can tell like I'm getting bored, and I don't want my chat to get bored or my viewers get bored. I'm like, okay, this is enough. Like he has fairy, it's a 6. We can like maybe draw this one card and maybe he draws my counter magic, but I'm not wasting time here. Let's just go move the next one so we can keep the pace going, basically.
Yeah. Oh man, it's. No, I couldn't agree more. I don't even have anything else to say, just other than yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, going slightly off the Pro Tour tangent. I guess I have streamed a ton, so talk about the decks. Like, I've made so many new decks streaming this past week.
Yeah.
That's like, it's insane. Like I've made the newest one. I think it's not the newest one, but like people have seen like the chromatic black deck, which is mono black Nimizet. If you guys haven't, you guys should definitely check out our YouTube channel, because there's I run that through a league and play against like basically like the entire metagame. We end up going, spoiler alert, we end up going 5-0.
25-0.
You should watch it. It's a sweet deck too. It's mono black Kingdom, is it? We've built a Follow the Thrain type deck, which it exiles their lands or the graveyard through Friction Scriptures, Righteous, or the Spirit called, man.
What card?
Remorseless Cleric.
Oh, yes, from the M19. Yes, yeah, 2-1 flyer.
So you play Follow the Thrain, exile their graveyard. They get no lands back. You get yours back. Or you play Follow the Thrain after you get Scriptures on 2 counters. So that next turn you can stack it, exile the graveyard, and you get lands back and they don't. And then also plays the Mending of Dominaria, which
gets lands back also at the end.
Exactly, yeah. So it's like and all these cards are good by themselves. Like Scriptures is fine by itself. Mending is fine because it's like card engine. It still gives you like creatures and stuff. Fall is probably the weakest card by itself, obviously. But like there's times too you just cast it and you have Vraska Golgari Queen, and if you have like if you have a Planeswalker and 1 creature, you can just eat it, and neither of you give lands back, but you have like a Planeswalker active. So it's like you can get way ahead.
So coming out of this Pro Tour, 5 decks perform pretty much the same. You were talking about all of these brews that you've had success with.
Yeah.
Recently, in professional Magic, we have seen that the metagame has shifted once it's been defined by the Pro Tour. And it's not that the metagame has really changed. I think white aggro decks obviously ended up performing better than everyone else was expecting, but the other 4 decks, black, green, mono red, Izzet Drakes, and Jeskai, were all like extremely known quantities as tier 1 decks. So what do you think is going to come out? Like what deck will rise from the ashes, so to speak, of the set metagame of these 5 decks at the top from going beyond this Pro Tour?
I mean, I personally think that the big one is still Izzet Drakes. I think that's
my favorite deck by a lot.
I think that one's gonna be the most popular and most maybe air quotes powerful, because 1, it's fun to play. You can kill somebody out of nowhere with maximize velocity, and it's good against the control decks because you have the Phoenix to recur, and it's good against Golgari decks because your flyers Like
all their stuff is
can't block
sorcery
'em.
speed. They're so dumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that I think that deck is going to take off like really really hard. But people still gonna play Golgari and Jeskai. I don't think anyone's missing anything. I don't think there's anything like, lying in the dirt that's undiscovered yet. That's going to be like crazy tier 1. I could be wrong. And maybe I am wrong. We find it eventually, but I think it's just going to be, is it Drakes? I do think mono white is bad. Bad as in like, yeah, bad. I think
the version real quick on mono white. I think the version that Channel Fireball, specifically Luis Scott Vargas, that was playing in the top 8, the Ajani Pridemate version, I think that version is much better than the other version, personally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, because Pridemate can easily get a hand against even a control deck. Like, left unanswered, you can just kill people.
Yeah, it becomes a singular threat where you can go tall instead of go wide.
Yep. And I think mono blue is just a cheese deck that's not good.
Yeah, I agree. I think that person ran hot, real hot.
Yeah, that person had turn 1 drop, turn 2 spell pierce into curious obsession.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
So some tech that myself and a coworker have been trying out in the Is It Drake's deck is splashing white just for Deafening Clarion.
Ooh, I've heard about that.
Your Drakes have 4 toughness.
Yeah, you gain much life.
And you gain literally if you have 1 Drake and you cast that after you untap with the Drake, you win the game against any aggro deck.
Yeah, all the red decks and stuff. Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm going to gain 5 and destroy all of your creatures.
At least 5, yeah. Then later in the game, if you do it again, yeah.
Yeah, sure. The first time, like if you do it on curve on turn like 4 or 5, you're going to gain about 5.
Still disgusting, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it plays like Teferi in the board too. I don't know.
You have access to it if it gives you a legitimate way to turn into a control deck going with then you can just play Teferi over Ral, and you can just play Teferi in the board along with Nimvisit. So you can actually kind of transform into a more aggressive Jeskai deck post board. Yeah.
The most successful I've had success with is by far the chromatic black deck, the mono black deck splashing.
Yeah.
Air quotes here, splashing to miss it. It's just been
a powerful card.
Yeah. It was
so powerful you want to splash it in your mono black deck.
It's supposed to be a joke, but ended up being like insane. It's just like Karn's underplayed, and that card's really good in that deck too. And it's weird because drawing lands like late in the game kind of sucks, or even like mid game kind of suck. But in this deck, it sucks, but it's the best one. It's the best deck that can take advantage of it because of Cabal Stronghold. Like
because there are 2 lands.
Yeah.
Every land is a soul land.
Yeah, there's times where like I don't even need Lantern. Like I'll just transform Treasure Map into Treasure Cove and get like clue or treasure tokens, and I'll like tutor for I'll Mastermind for Banefire, and then Banefire that same turn for over 20 damage because of Cabal Stronghold.
That's ridiculous.
It's absurd. Yeah, it's absurd. So.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Or against the white decks, you just cast a huge. You wish for a Sanguine Sacrament or Sanguine Sacrament. Yep.
Yeah, you gain 48 life.
Yeah. Or Zakama. Yeah, it's a sweet deck. It's a very sweet deck. It's a ramp deck that doesn't play any ramp outside of Lantern. Then it ramps with like Cabal Stronghold, and you still have access to all 5 colors. But you don't have to have main deck and rely on them. You can just wish for them out of the board. So like main deck, you just have Masterminds. Then if you don't have the Lantern now or a flip Treasure Cove, you can just not tutor out of the sideboard. But if you do, you start doing like insane things like Banefiring or Zakama or Sanguine Sacrament or whatever. So
personally, I think the deck name is better too.
Oh, too?
Yeah, I think Chromatic Black is a better deck name than Rainbow Lich. Lich is a cool word, so it gets some points for that, but Chromatic Black sounds just cooler in general.
It's a sweet deck.
Yeah.
Also, it's a sweet stream deck too because Demon Lord Belzenlock There's been times where where I've played him, and he's drawn like 10 cards and killed me
That's ridiculous.
because Discovery Dispersal is higher than converting mana cost 4. So he'll just like draw you a bunch of cards.
That's ridiculous.
It's also hilarious, but yeah.
All right. Ollie, anything else on the Pro Tour or standard in general before we move on?
No, I think the standard's great though. I think it's when people can build new decks and still do well with them, and I think it's healthy. It's like modern, but it's not with the insane amount of decks. So your sideboard actually does matter.
Yep, I agree.
Or not does matter, but like you have slots for your sideboard for all the decks instead of only 4 decks.
Instead of just picking the deck you want to lose to in round 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, we're going to move on. We have the final week of the city level, street level Magic story on Ravnica. Wait. I'm going to reread this.
Bonded.
Bound and Bonded. We'll be back to talk about that in just a moment.
This is the last one. Bound and Bonded by Nikki Drayden. This one is the Selesnya one. Going in, I thought it was gonna be like I don't know why, but I always think Selesnya is like
Lame. Really lame.
yeah. But this story actually kind of resonated with me a little bit. I'll go over the story first, and then I'll talk about why it resonated with me and why it meant a little more than some other ones. So the story starts off with Tarek, an elf who's depressed over destroying the Orzhov Basilica like 28 years ago by burrowing under it with his worm. He basically blames himself every day. So he goes to like kind of repent. He goes to see the children at the Orzhov orphanage. He takes interest in one named Bazda. One day she notices that he's there. They kind of like bond a little bit, and she shows him an artifact that she's kept. And he says his friend Amberlyn can identify it. She hands it to him, and then when he goes back to the Selesnya, Amberlyn says it's an old piece of technology from back when Izzet wove magic into their constructs, and it's like worth countless. Like it's worth like whatever someone's willing to pay. So
it's literally worth tens of. God, what is their currency?
Not Zen, but it's like Zag,
Zigs,
something like that.
I can't remember. I literally had it right before I made that joke and lost it. Anyway, continue.
Okay. So, anyways, him and his group of friends decide to go to the Orzhov Basilica and go under it and figure out to basically find out more or find where the artifact, if the rest of the artifact is there. The one that gets them there eventually gets spooked for some reason, runs away, and while they're down there, they're kind of like trapped, and eventually run to a pontiff, and the pontiff has Bazda's parents' souls under his contract, along with some worms and some other people working for him. Eventually, he gets Tarek. He basically forces Tarek and his friend to sign the contract because he finds them. He says, sign this contract or the worms will eat you. So now they're bound by contract to like serve for like 10,000 years or something, or 10,000 years or days, something insane. Anyways, eventually Tarek gets a hold of the contract. He rips it up, but it doesn't matter. The pontiff just remakes it, and then eventually he's able to his friend's able to distract the pontiff. Tarek gets a piece that's missing. Is it structure, and he's able to install it. So he's able to install it into the machine, which the pontiff was looking for the last piece, and that machine turns copper into gold. So he's doing that and he's making a ton of gold, and then finally the pontiff comes back. He's like, he sees Tarek, and before he can say anything else, Tarek's like, okay, here's all this gold, our debts are paid off, and by just doing that, he feels the law of magic that was binding him becoming unbound. And the pontiff's like, he's obviously upset. He's like, you can't do that. You have no claim, but according to Orzhov law, possession is 99% of claim. So that happens. They get freed. They escape with one of the worms. That's controlled by the pontiff, and it's kind of cool how they escape because the worm like basically melts the stone, with its like noise. It's kind of like turns into almost like lava. So while they're escaping, they're basically all casting healing spells on themselves or the group, and then get to the surface, and Balza's reunited with their family, which is kind of ghosts, but still reunited. It's basically a story, but it's a cool story. That's my summary.
So I'm trying to be nice because it's not this story's fault, but it's tough. The longer that we go away from having a relevant story that has an impact on something, the harder it is for me to get excited about the stories.
Oh, I 1000% agree. I think the story was good, but I had no drive to my excitement for reading the story was zero.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Like I was like, okay, cool, it came out. I don't care. That's not I don't care. It's just like,
well, no, I mean that's kind of how I felt. You remember how you were for Dominaria's story? Now, Dominaria's story is different because I think it's just worse than these. Like I think these are just much better written.
They are, yeah.
But I'm to the point where it's like it's a little bit of a chore because I know I'm not going to get anything out of it. Like it's that's not fair because I think the author Nikki Drayden has done actually a very good job at what she's supposed to be doing, which is describing the kind of everyday non-essential character life on Ravnica and how it looks from a guild perspective. And this story, I think if it had been the first or the second one, I would have just felt differently about it because I actually really liked how they kind of showed these characters interacting with the Orzhov.
Yeah.
Especially since we haven't seen the Orzhov are very interesting to me right now. Just like with the Izzet story, the Simic were very interesting because we haven't, the off guilds that we're going to be getting in Ravnica Allegiance. Like I like seeing them interact with those because right now we're so focused on the 5 guilds that we got in Guild of Ravnica, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, and go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll
say I feel you on that. Like, honestly, after the first few stories, maybe I was basically like done. My level of excitement went away. Now after 5, it's like I don't want another 5.
No.
I'm done. Like I want the actual story. Like I know in the background there's this huge big bad story of Bolus, and like I want that story. So yeah, that's been rough. So I'm on the same page with you. This story I kind of liked just because of seeing Selesnya and how they interact with each other.
Yeah.
It honestly reminded me of like my family in a way, or like my culture growing back in Lebanon, where people are nice to each other and like you're supposed to be kind or whatever, and like not. And if someone comes to your house and knocks, you let them in, and people come out unannounced all the time, and that's supposed to be okay. And even if you like are like, man, I'm sick, or I just want to sleep, or I don't see anybody, you can't do that because that's like, it's seen as bad. So when someone comes to visit, you're supposed to invite them, even if they come unannounced, which they do all the time, and you're supposed to give them like prepare like a little meal.
You're supposed to be a generous host.
Exactly, yeah. So it was very much like reminded me of that culture. So it seemed very close knit and very supportive, but almost like, so yeah, reminded me of that. Not that I like that a lot, but it's just it was like almost like nostalgic in a way.
To me, the Selesnya are without a doubt the best people in Ravnica for sure, but they're also the most boring. from like a conceptual perspective.
Maybe. I mean, honestly, if I had a friend, I'd want.
You want them to be Selesnya, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure. And that's what I mean. Like, it's just like, because actually, like, I did like this story, and I think like if I'm ranking all of the stories, I probably like this the second most of all of them.
First?
It's my first one for sure. I actually really, really loved that one. And this is my second favorite, but it's after reading it and going in, it was just so tough for me to shake this preconceived notion of this is just going to be filler. And we're probably not even going to hear anything about Imara or Tristani or any notable anything. And we don't. But I don't know. That's
dude. I'm so ready for some big name to pop up.
God, me too.
When Tarek swore, he was like, "I swear on the roots of Vitu-Ghazi." I was like, "Oh my god,
please something."
no. Just him saying Vitu-Ghazi was like, "Oh my god, this is something that's like big." You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we've been deprived of this.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the character saw Vraska last week.
Yeah.
But it was weird because it was like Vraska was something like a celebrity.
Yeah.
And you don't really get to see the internal. This is gonna bring the podcast down a little bit, but I got to say it. Dominaria came out in May, right? Dominaria's story ended in June.
Sure.
And we're in November. We have Ravnica Allegiance coming out at the end of January. I would imagine that we're going to be getting 5 more street level guild Ravnica Allegiance stories. You agree?
Yeah.
And then the third Ravnica set that comes out in May. We're going to go a whole year without getting any story that is current.
Well, there's a special story in December that's not sure what it's going to be about, but hopefully that one does something with maybe a genre recruiting or just something that's to the main storyline.
Anything.
Or even Soren, just something with
anything. Give me a character that is a planeswalker or a character that we care about.
That we've seen before.
So at the top of this story, it says Magic Story and a beloved plane will return in early December with something special for the holidays.
Maybe Lorwyn?
God, anything.
I can't imagine.
Give me any. At this point, you have beaten me down with these stories are good, and that's the frustrating part. Is these stories are really well written, and they're very good stories, but
they have no meat. They have no sustenance.
No, they don't, because they don't mean anything ultimately.
Exactly. Yes, it's like eating this like.
Dude, you and I, after this week 1 for the Dimir story, we were trying to like conspiracy theory what this little baby meant, and you know the answer?
Nothing.
Nothing is the answer.
Yeah.
And so at this point, we're so starved because before this, there was the Vivian Reed story. Before that, there was the Bolus story.
I don't know, man. The Vivian Reed story was like well written, I guess. It was 3 stories of Vivian Reed, and I was like, I don't care.
No, I didn't care either.
Like
the Bolus story was really good, but it's not current.
Yeah, that one was really good.
I appreciate that it existed, but we need to move forward.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I don't want this ever again. Like I understand maybe this is fine the first year, like all 10 guilds, but never ever.
Yeah,
again.
I'm a pass. That's a no for me, dog. Going forward.
Yeah, I agree. In the future, if you want to see the street level view, go back and read one of these stories. Don't do it again though, because we like I understand like we have it now. We have it in the books. You know, we can go back and read it. But I don't want any more. I don't want the second time street level view of Dimir or any of the guilds. Like, please.
No, this is enough. Thank you for the stories. Maybe they will be better in the future when maybe we can hope that something matters or that finding.
It's not.
I know it's not.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's go back to Because honestly, like, I feel bad that I don't want to talk a ton about this story, but I don't.
Well, I thought it was kind of cool, like seeing the inner workings of the Orzhov and how they bind you in like in life and death. That was kind of cool to see that.
Yeah.
And the way he was, the way the pontiff was being, he was like, "All right, well, since you were one minute late, I'm adding a day to your life sentence." And it's like,
God,
Jesus
they are just
Christ,
they're
son.
the worst.
Yeah.
The Orzhov are they just have to be the worst. This had to show the, like, morally the best guild and morally the worst guild. Has to be the Orzhov.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt. Like, it is just,
It's terrible.
oh God. It is just agony. Everything with the Orzhov is agony because it's time and it's slow and you're always paying. You always owe something.
Yeah. You're always working for nothing. Like,
And you die.
There's no.
And
you're still
then
working.
it doesn't
That's
matter.
There's
The worst part.
There's no light. There's no light. Like there's
No,
like
no light in the tunnel.
Exactly. You're in the tunnel and there's no freaking light. Like basically, if you get bound by that, like dude, if that guy said the worms or the book, dude, give me the worm. At least
Anything.
at least I'm in like the Orzhov territory where my spirit can do something else when it dies. Because apparently, when you die over there, like you're a ghost.
That's even worse though, man. You have no way out of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If someone's like, "Hey, die or sign this this contract that you have to serve me for 100,000 years," like, yeah, I'll just die and live my spirit form life and do whatever I want. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, because even in death, you're gonna still be serving the Orzhov.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. I wonder how that works. Like, because it comes out to me that like if you're in the Orzhov territory type deal, when you die, your spirit stays in the realm or stays
So
on
it seems like,
Earth.
yeah.
But I don't think that's obviously not the case in other places, because when the Golgari story, when he died, he was dead and then he was raised as basically like a zombie type deal.
Yeah. I think it must just be magic that is kind of happening in general, like wherever they are. Like different places have different sets of magic.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah. We did see law magic in order. Like we've seen Gideon's law magic with like protection and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We saw how law magic interfered here too. It's basically it forces you to do whatever they command.
Yep.
We saw Azor, the Lawbringer, his magic in a way.
Yeah, basically just forces you to do something.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
It's not mind control, but it's like everything. But I guess you remember everything, and yeah, it's weird. Very weird. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, like, I want to find out. Okay, I think I figured out what it is. I want to find out these things about the guilds because I like the looks, like in this story, like it focused on, like, honestly, we learned as much about the Orzhov as we did Selesnya in this story.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
did.
Which is not bad. I actually think it's a good thing. And I like finding out that information, but I don't, like, I want to get it in another form. But I don't know what that other form is, so I think I'm just being picky.
One thing that sure, going back to the story though. One thing kind of rubbed me off a little weird was when Tarek's friends were like still being supportive, but they had enough of him. Like they're so tired of his moping that they're moving away, and they made it seem like it was basically for a job or new scenery or whatever, but it was because of Tarek's depression. And I was just like, man,
That's brutal. Yeah.
dude, like.
Great friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I can't even imagine, like, woof, like, oh my gosh. I don't want a friend like that. Like, I don't want a friend that's like, always smiles and cheeky and does it all the time because, it's what we're supposed to do. And because it's fake. I don't want a fake friend. You know,
Well,
like I want my friend to tell me how the way it is, and yes, be supportive, but don't be like, yeah, we're supportive of you. We're also moving away from you because you're depressing to be around.
yeah, you're kind of bringing us down. So
Just stop being my friend.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they won't say that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're just gonna walk over here.
Yeah.
It's
That
I
was
don't
savage.
know. Okay, so something I did like particularly about this story is there's definitely some analogs to in the United States our government for this one, because I felt like Tarek felt bad over destroying the basilica.
Yeah.
And after reading the story, you're like, shouldn't feel bad really, because the people that are responsible for it are they're like not good people. But then it's like all the people that were affected have no control over that, are not bad people. They're just like in like the orphanage.
Yes.
So it's you're in like a catch-22 where, oh, you feel bad, and then they're going to want you to be indebted to them, but you know, it's like the bad guys always win. Every situation the bad guys win, even when the good guys like let them win. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
frustrating to think about. So moving on from this story to other stories, what do you think is going to be the story that we're going to get in mid-December?
A beloved plane.
Yeah.
Came to Dominaria because we've just been there. I mean, I think a beloved to me means like not horror, like not Innistrad, not Phyrexia.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I mean, I think it has to be Lorwyn. Not has to be, but like...
Well, it's not Ravnica, which would be the most beloved plane. Yeah, let's narrow them down. It's not Ravnica.
It's not Ravnica. It's not Innistrad.
It's not Innistrad. It's not New Phyrexia.
It's not Dominaria.
It's not Ixalan.
It's not Ixalan. That plane isn't beloved. It's not a beloved plane.
It's probably not Kaladesh.
No. Yeah, I don't think it's Kaladesh either. There's nothing really on Kaladesh. It's not Alara, I don't think. Alara wasn't really...
No.
I mean, maybe... No, Alara is the same as Ravnica. Like, it's all 5 colors. Like, why would you go to Alara? What's left? Like, there's Lorwyn.
Kamigawa.
Is that beloved?
Well, I hate it, but other people like it, I think.
I mean, it could be Kamigawa because there's
Tamiya's there.
Yeah. Okay, so there's Lara. No, not Lara. Not Amonkhet, right?
No, it can't be Amonkhet.
Okay.
Amonkhet falls into the New Phyrexia Innistrad territory.
Right. It's not Innistrad, it's not Ixalan, it's not Fiora. It's not Kaladesh. It's not... So Kamigawa, it's not Mirrodin. Kamigawa, Lorwyn, not New Phyrexia, not Ravnica, not Shendalar, not Tarkir, not Zendikar, and there's Theros.
Could be Zendikar.
Could be Theros.
Could be Theros. Ooh, Theros.
Which one has the most Christmassy theme? Probably Theros, right? It's not Christmassy.
People would celebrate holidays on Theros, where they would not on Zendikar.
Or Lorwyn.
Not really, no. I mean, I'm sure they would in some cases, but I'm gonna vote Theros. Theros is my pick.
Yeah. So I think our top 3 are gonna be is Theros, Zendikar, or Lorwyn. Out of those 3, I'm gonna agree with you. I think it's gonna be Theros.
Yeah.
There was Lorwyn. There was Theros, and then like a second closest Lorwyn. I don't think it's gonna be Zendikar. It's just we've been there so many times already, and there's nothing there. It's destroyed. People are like rebuilding.
Yeah,
and,
man. I just want to give us a Theros.
Yeah, Elspeth and
story.
Johnny, and we also saw the Elspeth art already on the new Elspeth Planeswalker. I'm gonna vote Theros.
Theros. Okay, I'm with you. As soon as you said Theros, I was like, yes, I hope that's it.
Yeah, because there's a new Elspeth art where she's taking off her mask. And maybe Johnny recruits her.
I
He's
know.
like, yeah,
Well, remember that's what I predicted would happen.
Yeah.
Before the Bolus battle, is that he's going to go recruiting, and he's going to try to go get Elspeth.
Well, he said that. He said that in Dominaria. He's like, yeah, I'm going. Yeah, he's literally said I'm gonna get more planeswalkers.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying specifically going recruit, like gonna go get Elspeth.
Oh, sure.
Okay, that's my pick. That's my official pick.
Yep, me too.
All right, cool. Anything else on these 5 stories or this one in particular?
Nope.
Me neither.
I guess one last thing.
Yeah.
The Pontiff have these thralls, and when Tarek the Elf was like, "Okay, thrall, let's attack him, tear up his book, and set all of us free, including you." The thrall attacks his master. Then later we see the Pontiff come back out, and he's like, the thrall like attacked his like leg, I guess, and tore his leg off. But now that the thrall is part of the Pontiff made the thrall part of his leg and made the face the bottom of his foot. So he just
walks on his face.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
the Orzhov,
the Orzhov are the worst.
That's miserable.
They're the actual worst.
Yeah. Anyways, just want to get that out there. That's miserable too. Yeah.
All right. In that case, we don't know when we're going to be back for Magic Story because they were kind of ambiguous, but we'll definitely find something to talk about in this section.
Yeah.
In the coming weeks. Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out. I have an idea, but I'm going to talk to Ali about it after the podcast, so you guys may never hear about it. Anyway, up next, Ali and I watched the horror thriller action suspense movie Overlord. We'll be back in just a moment to talk about that one. All right. So, Overlord. We're finally back in a movie where there are spoilers. So we're gonna first do non-spoilers and then spoilers about halfway through.
Okay.
All right. So, Overlord is a hard to define genre film that was produced by J.J. Abrams. It has some parts thriller, some parts suspense, some parts horror, some parts action. Would you agree with all of those?
Yeah, and some parts it's like zombie-esque.
Yeah, well, I kind of put that in the horror section. Yeah,
I kind of put zombie movies by themselves because they can be horror, they can be funny, they can be. There's so many different zombie things, but there's not that many anymore. Like we used to see a lot of zombie movies, or more zombie movies. But I feel like after Marvel took over, like we haven't seen very many zombie movies.
I wouldn't say that zombie movies are a genre. I think that zombie movies are.
I'm counting them a genre. I'm saying.
Oh, sure. I was trying to list genres, trying to identify them based on that. Anyway, Overlord.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I can say about this movie is this movie to me, from start to finish, and we'll get into spoilers. Talk about this more in spoilers. But the movie, start to finish, to me seemed like a video game.
Huh. Not
like there were very distinct sections that the characters were going through. They had to use different skills in each of the segments, and there's a point in the movie when there's like a big reveal, but it's not at the end of the movie. It's like in the middle. And then something changes, and they have to go and continue on and do a thing, or something bad happens.
Yeah, I was kind of. This made me feel like I wanted a little more of each section, like a little more, like either a little more, like horror-esque.
You wanted to pick one,
thriller, or a little more action, or a little more like. It had a lot of little like it was a melting pot of like
yes,
all these genres, and it's like I wasn't like craving more of each one. I just wish one was touched on more than the others because it left me like being unsure about everything. of like how I felt, I guess.
Hmm.
About the movie in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you were hoping it was going to end up in one genre rather than multiple.
Yeah, more so in genre and like maybe splashing. Like this is like splashing white, blue, and green, and there's no one solid color. There's no base.
They're just trying to play chromatic black, man.
Chromatic black is mostly a black deck. A splash is a miss it. That's it.
Yeah, I think this is mostly a suspense movie. Or is it? Or is it an action movie?
I don't think it is. Exactly.
Or is it? I know that's the point. That's the joke I'm trying to make. It's not. You're right. I don't know. I actually liked that in each of the acts, in Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3, it changed genres. Like pretty, I don't want to say substantially, but...
Distinctively?
Distinctively changed genres. And I actually really enjoyed that. The first act of the movie is I would say definitely a thriller.
Action thriller.
And then in the second half it is definitely suspense. For sure. And then in the third act it is
a suspense like horror.
Yeah, a suspense horror, and then in the third act, it is action.
Yeah.
For sure.
There were a couple times where it made me jump, because just random spooks.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of jump scares, but I think they don't lean on them too hard, and I think they're well placed.
Yeah. They're pretty obvious too. But yeah.
Yeah, and those are the good ones. It's like you're like, oh, I know they're gonna get me. I know they're gonna try to get me, and then when you're thinking that thought, they get you.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's fine. The opening scene and the plot of this movie is it's set in World War II. And American soldiers are going to fight with the Allied soldiers on a town or beach area in German-controlled France. And the soldiers are trying to take down a communications tower so the Allied airship can better do its thing with being able to get their soldiers to the area so they can take it back over from the Germans. So obviously, things don't go as planned. Some soldiers get separated from the rest of the soldiers, people die, and then you have a small group of people that is trying to accomplish this mission. And as they go, things are not quite as they seem and things go wrong. So that's kind of the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what to say without spoiling it. If you enjoy, I'll put it this way: if you don't enjoy action movies, you probably won't like this one. But if any of these things appeal to you that we've suggested, then chances are you're going to get some enjoyment out of it. Ali, do you have a 1 through 5 star rating?
Yeah, my rating is a 3. And I would say if you just want to go watch a movie and you have no like hopes for anything, because I don't think this movie's great. I think it's fine. Like basically you have no high expectations, because if you have high expectations going into this movie thinking it's going to be a good horror or a good suspense or a good whatever, then you're going to be so disappointed. I would just go in with if you just want to have a good time.
Yep.
I guess. Yeah.
No, I think it's a good way to say it. This movie for me is also a 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't really have any expectations and went in and enjoyed myself, and it's just a really solid 3-star movie.
Yeah.
I don't think people are gonna like it more than that, but it's also really tough for people to like it less than that, just because it is fun. It's the action beats that it's got are pretty good. It's fun in sections. Like I particularly enjoyed the second act. That's a lot of kind of the characters snooping around in various points. But we can talk about that in spoilers if you want to jump into spoilers so we can kind of let loose.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, cool. All right, ready?
Yep. Boop.
Spoiler warning.
Boop.
Spoiler warning.
Boop.
Spoiler warning.
Boop. 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 All right, we're in.
All right, in spoilers. All right. You want to start or you want me to start?
You good?
So my favorite part in the whole movie is when they're in the French girl's house. And they're like stuck in the house while the German soldiers are there, and then coming up with their plan, and then leaving the house and then coming back to the house. And for some reason, like that whole section where they're basically trying to not get caught, and then Boyce, the main character, goes, finds the facility, tries to not get seen by anybody, and then makes it back in one piece with the...
Somehow.
Yeah. With the his friend that he found with an outrageously long needle thing in his side that definitely would have killed him for sure if that was taken out of his body.
Two of them. It was two of them. Right?
Yeah, even more so. I thought it was just one, but it might have been two.
I'm pretty sure there's one each side. Like the whole time I was like, okay, I'm waiting for this guy to transform. Waiting for this guy to like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. Just
Yeah.
Just fine.
So he finds him and then somehow gets back without anyone finding him. And that, I don't know, that part to me was just really fun. Like I like the sneaking around, because this felt like a movie where I wasn't sure if he was going to get caught or not, because I definitely felt like he could have got caught and then something bad was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that second act quite a bit.
One thing that kind of not rubbed me the wrong way, but I was like, okay, so when he like I said, he takes that serum, whatever it is, the red vial.
Yeah.
And later he uses it on his dying friend.
Yes.
And later you find out that the Germans are doing human testing, or the Nazis are doing human testing, but they haven't tested this serum on anything living.
Yeah.
It's just like that's hard for me to believe. That was the case, because they were doing everything else. Like they were burning bodies, they were like burning people alive.
Yeah.
They were.
You would think they would have just jumped right to human testing. Like, why would they not have?
They were doing human testing, just not live.
Live human. Yeah, you would think they would have jumped to live human testing immediately.
Yeah. So it was just weird. It was odd to me.
But
they were like strong with zombies. There's one point where like the girl like blasts this one zombie like 3 times in the head, and just like it falls down, and then it gets back up, and it's like, I guess you have to like completely cut off the head or something for it to.
You had to like dismember it, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like zombies that didn't die like typical zombies.
No, not at all. Well, because they're not really zombies. I mean, they are, I guess, in the technical sense, they're zombies, but not like traditional zombies.
What was the one the friend that died that I shot in the chest and got brought back?
Say that again?
The first one that got brought back.
Yes.
The vial. Their friend. What's his name? Do you know his name?
No, I don't remember his name. The only person's name I remember is Boyce, which is the main character, and then Chloe, which is the French girl.
Okay.
I don't remember any other characters' names.
I know it was like a sad scene or whatever, but the way he was talking, it's like, I'm not gonna die, am I? Don't let me die. Like he was talking as if he was like fine, and then he starts like, his lungs start filling up with fluid, I guess. He starts or blood. He starts like dying, and then he puts James the serum into him and basically brings him back to life.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if was he dead at that point, or was he like?
He seemed dead. He seemed like he had passed on, momentarily at least.
Right, but he had memory, where the other one we saw later in the movie that was like caged in that little prison thing that was let loose was definitely like brainless.
Yes, maybe it had been much longer since they had died. I don't know.
Maybe it's like the Golgari reanimate thing.
Yeah, exactly. What we talked about last week. I think it was. They purposely left it ambiguous to not give away additional details about what this was supposed to do, because the corporal, like the explosives expert, asked multiple times. He's like, "What is this? What is this?" And he just the German general never told him, except when he got brought back to life. He's like, "Well, this is what it does," and that's pretty much all he said.
Yeah, the 1,000-year soldier.
Yeah, need a 1,000-year soldier for a 1,000-year Reich. That's what he said.
For 1,000-year what?
Reich.
What's Reich?
Well, that's what the Nazis called themselves, was like the Third Reich.
Okay, gotcha.
And that was just the line that he said.
Okay, yeah.
One of the things that was, I guess, it didn't really bother me, but all of the characters were just super straightforward. Like, no one had any depth at all. All their actions were predictable. Not that that's a bad thing in this type of movie, but like, all of the bad guys are just terrible. They're all just the worst people in the whole world.
Yeah.
The corporal was obviously like this, hard-lined, like military guy that was like, we get to follow orders no matter what. And then finally, you broke through my stone heart, and gee willikers, I'll do it for the kid if that's what you're gonna do. And then of course the other guy, the kind of like
shot too. It's just like it's yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was, it's fine. It's fine because it's, they're not really breaking any new ground with characters in this movie at all. But
no, they're not. You're right.
But I thought it was a fun concept that was executed well, and enjoyed how the movie looked how they had like all the prosthetics they had on with people when they were kind of transformed.
Yeah.
And at the end, when the German general was fighting after he had, injected himself, and he was fighting the other two, and then the corporal injected himself and was fighting him.
He was weaker. Seemed weaker. A lot weaker.
You're going to say for some reason. You know why? And this is actually a part that I really like.
Because he took one shot.
He took one shot, and the general took two.
At least two, yeah.
So he was no match. Like he could kind of stand up to him, but he ultimately wasn't going to beat him because he just didn't have as much juice in him.
Yeah.
So that I actually liked, and that's kind of what made it to me seem like a video game-esque movie, because it did go in like segments. Like I could just literally imagine this as a video game, and then this is like a boss you fight in the middle, and then he comes back later as this like monster boss.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me like Resident Evil type deal.
Exactly, Resident Evil. That's literally, I watched this movie with Parker, and after the movie, I was like, this reminded me of Resident Evil. Literally reminded me of Resident Evil,
yeah,
even with the like the villain, like the big villain at the end. Exactly. Yeah, and it seemed like a boss fight.
Yeah, it reminded me of the guy that was like big zombie was like stars.
It reminded me of Resident Evil 3, which is the Nemesis.
Yes, exactly. That one. Yes.
That is literally the exact one that I told him.
Yeah, the exact. Yeah, because you could just walk in and say stars, and like, if he saw you, you just go crazy. Like, yeah, that one.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So I thought it was fun. It was like, it's like this isn't based off a video game, but it seemed like it could have been.
Sure.
I don't know. I just felt like they took a lot of cues from how they put the plot together.
Also,
not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
Also a true story.
What?
No, I just like that they incorporated the Nazi testing into the story, because like that did happen. Nazis did do human tests. Did do human testing. That was like a big thing they're like known for, of doing like sleep studies and like all kinds of like
things that
weird freaking studies, like
often immoral.
Twins.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, all kinds of things just to figure out like, and there were like some based on like the supernatural, to see if they could like find something. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. I thought the setting was really good. I enjoyed especially the first act just looked really good. Like that first scene when they're in the plane.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was great. That was a great scene.
It was savage, but yeah.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal, but I thought that was a great scene. And I didn't want to say that in spoilers because it's like, even though it's right at the beginning of the movie, I don't want
spoiler.
Yeah, I don't want people to go in and like expecting that, because it's more fun if you just go in and it's immediately tense from the first second of the movie.
Yeah.
And I think that is what helps the movie all the way through, at least the first two acts, when there is that all of like the suspense building up until it gets to the third act, which is pretty much all action. So, yeah, I liked it. I think it's a really, really solid 3-star movie for me. I'm glad I saw it. I'm probably like I wouldn't go see it in theaters again. If it's on TV, I'd probably watch it again. But that's about it. But I don't. I felt like
I wouldn't. It'd be like the cable thing where I'd like things like this is never gonna be on TV. Let's be honest. Who has TVs anymore? First of all.
Well, I mean like Netflix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, side note, our generation grew up where we saw a ton of TV shows, like parts of movies, parts of TV shows, like the ending or the middle or the beginning, all the time. This generation after us,
it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, they're yeah. So I've probably seen like parts of one movie like something like 10 different times, but yeah, they can just pause and go through. Yeah, so
I know it's so weird because like when I like say that stuff, I guess I don't really think about that. To put it into today's terms, if this was on Netflix and I didn't have anything I particularly wanted to watch, I would watch this again.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, but it has to take a monumental movie for you to rewatch.
Right, but like let's say someone was watching it. Like I'd watch a couple parts of it and then I'll probably stop unless they're really into it. But like, I don't know.
I like movies more than you do. I like rewatching movies more than you do, I think.
I love rewatching movies where we can like pick on new things by rewatching.
Yeah, that's not this. That's not this movie.
No, it's not. At all.
Not at all. It's fun though. It's a good use of your time, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else on Overlord before we move on?
No, it's done.
Okay. All right. In that case, question of the week coming up in just a moment. We'll be back in just a second to figure out what guild-related thing we're going to be talking about this week. All right, Ali, you know what it's time for.
Question of the week.
Question of the week. All right. Question of the week is, as we continue in our last week of guild-related question of the week questions of the week, which guild has the best pets in Ravnica?
All right, I'm going with Is It. Because Is It has all the cool pets. Like, it's not a dog or a cat. It's like, it's different. Maybe it's a dog that like shoots lightning out of its eyes, or a cat that is Superman, or a flying drake that like, the drake has electricity. And if the power ever goes out somehow in your home, your pet, be it a drake, your cat or dog, can be your backup generator. Okay?
That could be true. That could be true. That could be true. Multifunctional.
And that is important for an Is It city. Or if I was living in Ravnica too, so. I ain't internet. Okay, imagine, dude, your Drake could give off a Wi-Fi signal wherever you are. Because he's just, your Is It city. So anything can happen.
That's true. I mean, I can't really argue that. I can't say that it can't. Because it could. Because there's definitely a chance. There's definitely a chance. There's definitely a chance. I'll give you that. I'm going to go with what might be the most boring answer, but it's the only right one, and that's Selesnya. Selesnya has all the animals. They got them all. You want puppers? Done. You want kittens? Done. You want combination of puppers and kittens? Also done. You want worms? Done. You want big other things that you can't really describe, but they're probably cuddly? Also done.
Now, when you say cats and dogs combined, they're separate. They're not actually combined.
No, that's Simic.
Yeah, that's Simic.
More like crossbred, not literally combined. Think of like Eevee in Pokemon.
Okay.
Eevee's like a cat and a dog combined, pretty much.
Sure. But Eevee's very Simic too.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
point.
sorry,
I was just talking about looks. Anyway, point is, you're gonna have all the choices of all of the animals in Selesnya, and you know they're gonna be well cared for because all the Selesnya care very, very much about animals. So
yeah, in the community, for sure.
You know if you're getting it from another Selesnya family, it's coming from a good home, and it's gonna be cared for. It's gonna have all its shots. It's going to have, they're probably going to give you a carrying crate, no matter how big it is. If it's a worm, it's going to be a really big one. You're going to get food for 2 weeks. They're going to have the best care for animals. So it's got to be Selesnya. Although I do like drakes. They're not going to have drakes. I'll give you that. But they got just about everything else.
I'm sticking with Is It. So you guys tell us.
Okay. All right. So which guild has the best pets? Ollie votes for Is It. I vote for Selesnya. If you have another option that you believe is not one of those two, let us know in the comments of Question of the Week on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, Ollie, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter /Ali Aintrazi, YouTube, Thinktwice YouTube, or twitch.tv /Ali Aintrazi, or at coolstuffinc.com. My articles go up every Friday.
Beautiful.
What about you, Parneezy?
You can find me on Twitter as well at jparnell1, and you can also find me on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. I'm the host of the Commander Versus series. If you want to contact the show, you can do so on Twitter as well, ThinktwiceMTG on Twitter, and of course, ThinktwiceMTG@gmail.com if you want to shoot us an email. You can find the show on SoundCloud, SoundCloud, singular one, only one SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Spotify, and then of course YouTube at youtube.com/ThinktwiceMTG, where you can also find some MTG Arena gameplay videos from both Ollie and myself. Please subscribe to our channels on each of those, or leave us a short review if you can, maybe a 5-star review on the platform that lets you do that. If you enjoy the show, if you want to support the show further, you can go to patreon.com/ThinktwiceMTG. Of course, always share the show with your friends, because that's the best way for us to spread the good word of Thinktwice.
The gospel of Thinktwice.
The Thinktwice gospel, yes. If you want to support the show, like I said, patreon.com/ThinktwiceMTG. We have a lot of great rewards tiers, including our $1 Augur Bolus tier, which gets you early access to the show, gets you a pair of Thinktwice tokens, and access to the Patreon exclusive Discord channel, of which we have a Discord Animal of the Week. Go. Your turn.
Vote is Gideon, the Pitbull Gideon. It's Animal of the Week. He's Fraser's pet. So Gideon, congratulations. You are Animal of the Week. You are a cutie. Welcome.
Yes, for sure. For sure. So I guess before we do our final outro, Ollie and I are going to be attending SCGCon, and we are going to want to talk to you guys at SCGCon. Everyone that's listening to this podcast right now, we're going to start leading with this probably in the beginning of the show next few weeks to remind you guys, but we're going to be at SCGCon, and we want some interaction with the Thinktwice family. So if you have some questions for us, you should be thinking about those, because you might be able to get on an episode of Thinktwice asking us live questions. Just something to think about. We're getting there yet. We'll announce more details as we have them, but just something to think about. We're going to give a shout out to our graphic designer, Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com. And our director and producer, John Choi. He's the man behind the curtain, making sure everything works functionally. And of course, our Agent of Bolus producers, Daniel Hunt and Matt Lindell. Thank you guys very much for your support. And Ollie, thank you very much for your support of being the most supportive co-host in the history of the Thinktwice podcast. For sure. Guaranteed. Hands down.
Oh, thanks, Parnell. You too.
You're welcome.
Right back at you.
All right, that's it for this week, guys. We are going to be back next week with Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald in our pop culture section. So if you want to join on the conversation for that, check out that movie before next week. But that's the show for this week, guys. Anything else, Ali?
No.
Parting
Good night,
thoughts?
good morning, good evening, and goodbye.
All right, see you next week.